wholesome nutrition is the biggest secret to good health, illness recovery, and longevity. So everyone is, getting into all types of exercise programs, yoga programs, meditation, pranayama, kriyas and energy healing and therapies and so forth. But 80%, maybe even more, right? The biggest difference is from the right nutrition. And I've been focusing on this for decades, right? Trying so many different things. So I'm going to share what worked for me, especially in my yoga protocols, in my illness recovery, and my overall health. Found what I found absolutely amazing. And I'll discuss that in the contents of the video today, right? So for those of you like the contents of my video, please don't forget to press like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This is going to greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people and to be able to help more people. You'll be doing me a great favor as well as my channel, and both me and my channel thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You don't know how much you'll be helping us, just by doing that. And thank you in advance, for that. A big thank you. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Osman, hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, especially after all medical, efforts have failed. And that is usually when the patients, resort to alternative methods, and when they're given a limited time to live. And my success rate at that point onward is well over 90%, right? And also treat other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments, of course. And I am also a master level or, yoga and meditation teacher, having been teaching this science now for almost 46 years and practicing it for almost 50 years. And in that period, I never once charged people money, for my lessons or my advice or, anything relating to yoga, right? I only charge for energy healing, right? But with yoga meditation, I never charged. For 46 years of teaching, I never charged money, from any of my students, right? So I had the amazing opportunity to study under some amazing masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures across the globe, from the Far East, the Middle East, the West, including the scientific communities. And I basically put all my knowledge together and created my own unique protocols, making everything simpler, easier, faster, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented. To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries, and my favorite protocol is my yoga and meditation, 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visit my website, yogawellness786.com. And uh, also remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment, right? So coming back to the amazement of nutrition, so let me put it down as a bottom line that even when all medications failed and all treatment methods failed and all even energy healings failed, nutrition can come save the day. I found thousands of patients. A good reference is go to search in Google for Dr. Brooke Goldner, right? She is an advocate of, whole natural cruciferous vegetables that they put, they make the green smoothie. Man, they even have smoothieshred.com. It is the fastest, easiest way to lose weight, simplest way, free. You're not having to pay for any supplements or anything, right? And you get this in the supermarket, right? Cabbages, this cabbage, or cauliflower, or spinach, or kale, or broccoli, and you blend. And sometimes you're in a tight budget. Cabbages are quite cheap, right? Just buy cabbage and blend, and you can live on that, right? Because it's very nutrient dense, right? So the amazing thing is it is also anti-inflammatory. If you add flax seeds, right, to that cruciferous vegetables that you blend, right? You take a full blender, and blend. I've got a 1.5 liter, a blender. The usual one is a 1.8 liter blend, but I normally put in about 1 pound of cruciferous vegetable. It fits in there, or slightly less than that. And either spinach or cabbage. I love putting cabbage, because it's cheaper and easy to obtain anywhere, and has because we worried about the result. And I just add one orange and one lemon for flavor. You can add any fruit for flavor, right? And I add a handful. The secret is also a handful of flax seeds. I add it to that, the blender mixture, and top it up with water and blend. So I chop up the lemon, the one lemon and the orange with the peel and add, because the peel has got 50% of the vitamin C. So the vitamin C is very nutritional, very positive in improving your health markers. So I am like 99.99% whole foods plant based, not 100%. But like on occasion, I will eat because it dampens my healing energy. I'm an energy healer. So I have to be, anytime I can get a phone call, someone is in critic fighting for their life, they have a few hours to live or a day or two, and, they can lose their life anytime. All medical efforts have failed and they're in intensive care unit, or they, terminal illness, they went up to stage 4 cancer, and all chemotherapies and everything has failed, and I need to, they, step in. So I can't allow my energy to be dampened, So I try to keep my energies on the peak level, and by being on a whole foods plant-based diet, keep my energy on a peak level in terms of the subtle life force energy. My energy is quite high if I have like a little bit of chicken, which or a little bit of meat, right? I think this year I had two. I had chicken pizza, about 9 months ago, and because someone bought it as a gift, and I didn't want to refuse it, and I was quite hungry, and I ate it, and it didn't dampen my energy substantially. So it was okay, and I wanted to see what it does because it's been like a few years since I ate any meat products, and I ate it, and it was like reasonably okay, but I ideally wouldn't want to have it, and I was hoping not to get a customer, right? A critical care recovery. And another time, someone also, it was a pizza, bought me a vegetarian pizza with a crust, but the crust was filled with a meat filling. And I didn't want to throw it away. And I mean, food is food, right? And so I ate it, right? And it didn't affect my, and if there was a emergency, I would have still been able to help, you know. And the meat takes like time for it to wear out from the system, up to 7 days, and chicken takes about 3 days for it to wear out, the dampening effect from the system, right? So I'm not saying become vegan or anything, but for your health markers, if you are ill, try to go on a whole food plant base until you recover. Follow the Dr. Brooke Goldner protocol, right? You can go there, and it's going to amazing results, in your health markers. But also, I found that if you more sensible in your diet, right, include a lot of wholesome fruit, vegetables like raw salads, not overcooked vegetables, steamed. You can use, lemon, try to use natural, um, flavoring, to flavor your broccoli and so forth. Squeeze a lemon over it, some steamed broccoli and squeezing a lemon. Oh, it tastes amazing, right? And include it with with your natural food, right? You can add it as a salad, right? It's going to have some positive effect, but try to have more, reduce the meat intake in your diet, the animal foods less, and plant-based food more. Like, make a rule of thumb, 70-30, right? 70% plant-based, 30% meat in your plate. Have 70% plant-based and 30% meat in your plate, right, for your protein requirements. So that is not too much to ask for, right? And the other thing is, I found, this that natural supplements, not natural, sorry, the supplements, that we buy, right? And I used to pride myself in getting the best possible supplement. I went for one of the biggest companies that are well known for decades, right? Proven themselves decades, and buying a supplement from them, which is normally about 3 to 4 times the price of what you would get, commercially, right? And I didn't mind paying because my health is comes first. So I wanted the best possible supplements, right? And I used to love, supplements, taking a lot of supplements and taking my protein shakes and all that, right? And but actually I found it has an inflammatory effect and has a toxic effect in my body, where there is a posture that I do in shoulder stand, a variation of shoulder stand, where I drop the one knee. My legs are upright. I'm doing shoulder stand. For those who know what is shoulder stand, I just bend my right knee. I place my foot on my left knee, so the left leg is straight and the foot is on my left knee, and the right knee I bring it to my forehead. So I'm squeezing my abdomen, right, on the right side, and I do the reverse and squeeze and hold it for about a minute to 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes is better to hold, right? More substantive results. I found the sweet spot where you don't have to spend too much of time and not too little, and it brings you substantive benefit in the yoga posture, right? So when I was doing that, and I noticed a pain, it was actually earlier this year, about 9 months ago, right? Before I could eat the meat, it wasn't the pizza, right? Before I could eat the chicken pizza, I felt a pain in my right side, in the liver region. It was it was a sharp pain going to my back, and I got very worried for the first, and I identified that it's a liver pain. I never had a liver pain. And I was always underestimating that posture, in yoga. And I'm practicing yoga now for almost 50 years, right? And I used to just do it for the sake of doing it. And I never knew, I didn't know whether it's going to help me or not. But we were taught in yoga it's very beneficial. And if you do the opposite side, it helps to, squeeze the pancreas and tones the pancreas as well, and makes the pancreas more, efficient in its function. And I never really feel any result, from it, or didn't think much until this year. And I didn't know why. And I told my friend, I don't know why I've got a pain in my liver. I don't know whether I have a problem in my liver. It's old age or something. He said, no, Osman, you're having too much supplements. Cut down your supplements, right? Because I must have my omega-3, I must have my multivitamin, I must have my B12, I must have my vitamin D, right? I must have my magnesium supplement. I must have my nitric oxide supplement. I must have my, shake. And, these are like standard, right? What I used to have, right? As a supplement, which is not abnormal, right? These are important supplements, right? And not abnormal for people to have that. And then I just started to cut down. I just cut out one or two, and within a few days, the pain went away. And then I learned that these things actually they don't have, not 100% natural, right? There is some additives, right? And processed, right? These are processed things. Even the protein shakes and so forth, right? And the meal replacement is processed. Once things are processed, your cells identify it as toxin. It doesn't sync well like natural foods. And I felt I needed supplements, right? And I mean, science says we need. Of course, if your doctor says you need it, then, but don't self medicate supplements, right? If the doctor says you need certain thing for a certain period, you must take it. Follow your doctor's orders, right? And then maybe you're deficient in something and you need to supplement that. But if the doctor never tell you, don't self medicate it up, because have nutrient dense foods. Have a lot, make sure on a daily basis in your plate you've got some form of cruciferous vegetable, either cabbage or cauliflower or cabbage or spinach, or and try to have them as raw as possible, right? Or steamed, and try to have a salad with all the herbs. These are very medicinal, like thyme and parsley and rocket and spinach, and mix it up and toss it, in your salad with some cucumber and some tomato, and squeeze some lemon over it, right, as your dressing. And have a bowl full as a starter, a small bowl full, right, as a starter before you eat your meal. And you can maybe add some feta cheese to it, to give it a little bit more flavor. And I found that to be amazing, right? I'm normally not having cheese or something, but I found that adds flavor, for people who want to get into this, to make it more sustainable. And also, I found that refraining from sugar completely is a game changer. Take out sugar, the white sugar, right? Because there is natural sugar in fruit, right? So that is okay, right? You don't have to, anything natural is fine. But the white sugar and even the brown sugar is processed, right? Completely eliminate sugary foods. Anything that's got sugar, completely eliminate it from your diet. And highly refined carbs, like fry, like Lay's crisps and you know um, uh, breads, right? Try to cut it out from your diet, right? And everything that's high in carbs, right? Try to go more towards a limited carbs and wholesome carbs, like brown rice, a cupful of brown rice, right? In your plate, in a corner of your plate, right? Or quinoa, right? Brown rice or quinoa is a good healthy alternative, and that's it. Don't try to avoid white rice and try to completely eliminate breads, all breads, right? And using flour based cake flour and wheat flour and all these things, unless you're grinding them at home, you know naturally you are making the clay. But if it's coming in a package in effect from a factory, this is bad news for you. I mean, you just need to get into the habit. I mean, have your chicken, have your meat, have your fish, but not try to eliminate canned foods, right? I mean, if you have to have canned fish like salmon or sardines, right? This is, I mean, a doctor says it's healthy. I mean, it's not that healthy, right? But better than not having it all, right? You can go on sardines only, canned sardines only for 30 days. Man, you'll find you have no vegetables, no nothing. Only sardine cans. It's cheap, right? You can buy this thing. It's not going to smell nice, right? But you have that only, no bread, no nothing. And you see your health markers. If you're in a critical situation, see how it improves. Because it's very difficult to go onto the Brooke Goldner protocol and having the cruciferous vegetable smoothie sometimes. Sometimes you want to go on a carnivore diet, right? But sardines is something that is affordable, right? And that helps your energy levels and so forth, right? So nutrition plays a very big role in removing illnesses that you already have. And you'll find if you're going on a keto based diet and having healthy foods and remove sugar, remove this, and don't have sweets and chocolates. I mean, you can have dark chocolates, minimum 80% cocoa, where there's no sugar added, right? So the Lindt chocolates, Lindt I think is available in all countries, right? 80% or 90% or more, right? Dark chocolate and one square per day, right? One, don't need the whole chocolate, but some people say have more of it. It's not so bad, right? But a square of it for maintenance, right? Is safe, right? You can try it out, see what works for you, right? That's okay if you have as a treat. And don't go into ice creams, and I mean, on occasion, right? On occasion it's fine, cut it down, but try to have more wholesome foods in your diet, right? And especially if you overweight and so forth, you got obesity, you go on your nutrition is 80% of your weight loss. You can exercise from now to kingdom come. It's very difficult to lose weight, but your nutrition changes, wise changes in your nutrition. Don't starve yourself. I mean, there's no limit on how much of vegetables you can eat, right? So even when you're following the Dr. Brooke Goldner protocol, there's no limit how much. You can eat as much as you want, right? And still lose weight, a lot of weight, right? So that is something I learned. Cut out, try to eliminate, supplements unless recommended by a doctor. Try to eliminate protein shake unless, have chickpeas. Chickpeas is got 19 grams of protein per 100 grams of chickpeas, right? After your workout, like have a cupful of cooked, right? So one cupful of uncooked chickpeas, if cooked well, will make 3 cups, right? So that will be 3 meals, right? Chickpeas like 19 grams, like about 150 grams in a cupful, right? So that's going to give you about 25 grams of protein, 25 to 30 grams of protein, right? 150 grams giving you 30 grams of protein, right, in your meal, which is amazing, right? Plant-based protein included, which I'm not saying go plant-based diet, right? Included, try to have a lot of like legumes and lentils in your diet. And there's a book by Michael Greger. I remember the name Michael Greger. Research him. Amazing book is written, right? If you can purchase that book in Amazon, I'm not getting any commission for saying that and so forth. And of course, he's got a YouTube channel, a lot of free content on his YouTube. You will learn a lot. You change your life. Try to, even if you can't change to a healthy diet, try to listen to people who are speaking on a healthy diet. This will make a big change in your life. And eventually, slowly, you start. So just watch Dr. Brooke Goldner, Michael Greger, and all this, health-based, videos and podcasts on a regular basis, and eventually, slowly, start adopting like a small healthy habit. Then just give up this and give up that slowly, and over a passage of time, you don't have to change. Rome was not built, you know, in a day. So it will take you time. And I didn't go into my healthy protocols overnight. It took me decades, experimenting with different things, and slowly, and eventually I found the wisdom and the amazing feeling, of the of this following, an amazing nutritious diet, right? And that's why I stick to it, because I'm getting results from it, right? So hope that information helps you, and remember that this will help you with your longevity more than, like, you bring the yoga program, exercise programs, and all that. It's not as much as what nutrition can do, right? So hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.